Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're playing some Raid Shadow Legends and we have Garch Gaming in the voice chat with us. You will be able to see his channel linked in my description. Do you want to say hi?
Hey guys, what is up? And huge shout out to Incredible John. Thank you for having me again. And today
Yeah,
we are going to be reacting to the new patch that has just come out.
yes, that's going to be a lot of fun. So we have decided to first of all watch over the champions. We have screenshotted them, so we will not go over to the news thing yet. We'll just go to index and look at them directly. Then we will talk about the mercy system and we'll talk about the fragment event. Like how good is Elagius really? So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. I think during I think that works fine. So first of all, we'll obviously look at Lydia. So if we go over to Void, Dark Elves Legendary, let's do that. So it's Dark Elves here, and she's a Void champion. So there she is. I've already made some videos about her. Let's see here. Okay, so people already mostly know her skills, but do you want to cover some of her skills? Skill 1 and 2 maybe, then I can cover skill 3 and 4.
Sure.
Then I can
Okay,
agree and
has
disagree.
A1. Yeah. Oppression. So basically attacks one enemy, then has a 100% chance of placing fear debuff for 1 turn. It also has a 100% chance of increasing duration of any poison sensitivity debuff by 1 turn.
Do you reckon
it has a passive effect.
Do you reckon that will also be 100% with the skill level up? Or do you think okay, so it should be 100% on both. Okay.
Then it has a passive effect, attacks enemy champions with this skill whenever they place a free stun, fear, or true fear debuff on an ally. The number of attacks increases according to how many debuffs are placed at that time, 1 for each free stun, fear, or true fear debuff placed. The first attack will go to the attacker, while all the extra hits will be random enemies. Can only attack each enemy once.
Yeah, okay. So what I gathered from that is it's obviously a very powerful skill, and usually the enemies, they don't, not all of them places these debuffs. There may be one debuffer or maybe even two. So this is obviously a very useful skill. But I like, as you can see in the arena nowadays, in Platinum Arena, you don't see a lot of poisoning going on. So the poison sensitivity wouldn't be as insane. And I think the fear thing on the enemies that actually do apply debuffs, I don't think she will do it to more than 1 or 2 people. So it is like a counter-attack fear, but at least the enemies doesn't lose. They don't lose their they don't get their skill cooldown upped because it's not a true fear. So I think this skill is completely fine, to be honest. I don't think it's too overpowered myself, because usually not all the enemies does this. Only champion which may get a little bit wrecked from this would be Tormin, I would say. He is the main freezing person, so I think he would have the most issues, and also Mashalid, but I think it's honestly fine. What do you think? Yeah. Like over having heard that and read it, is there anything you want to add to it?
Not really. Torment would be like, she would actually start killing Torments because even her passive is designed in a way to counter him.
Yeah.
And yeah, her multipliers on all her skills are actually pretty high. When the data mine info came out, her multipliers were also included. So she can nuke properly. Not like a Foley or Trunda nuke, but
yeah, she's going to destroy.
Shazar, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about that is though, she can only attack each enemy once. So that means between every round or turn the enemy gets, unless it means for the entire battle. What do you think that means? Can only attack each enemy once. Does it mean just every time they do something, or does she have to go once to reset that, you think?
No, it's every time they do something.
Oh, it's every time they do something, then she can. Okay, I see. So yeah, if a torment freezes 3 allies, she will only attack once. But if he does 1 ally and then one more round, then one other ally, then she will attack twice, as an example.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. What about skill number 2? What do you think about this one? Looks kind of
She
crazy.
basically, yeah, mixed Dracomorph and Verlin.
Yeah,
So
Dracomorph and
Siren,
who? Dracomorph
yeah,
and who?
sorry.
Verlim Frosking, do you mean him?
Verlin, yeah,
Okay,
he
okay.
has the strengthen on all allies, I
Yes, yes,
think.
yes. I wonder what that does. Does it just make them have
Um,
25%? Like, do you know what
yeah,
strengthen means?
yeah, strengthen straight up reduces the damage that you take by 25%.
I see, I see. I thought it was an. Okay, I see, I see. So, do you think these. So, yeah, you can read off the skill if you want to, and I can add afterwards.
Yeah. Siren's Veil attacks all enemies, has 75%, booked up to 100% placing, chance of placing 60% decreased debuff, defense debuff, and a big version of Weaken for 2 turns. She also places Strengthen and Increased Speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is on a 3-turn cooldown when booked.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
And this hits
ridiculous.
hard.
Does she hit with it, or is it not hit? You
All of
mean,
her skills have high multipliers.
yeah, but I mean, is this a skill where she hits enemies, or is it just applying like Tomb Lord does? He doesn't hit while he is applying debuffs. I would imagine that. No, it says attacks all enemies. I'm blind. I'm sorry. So this actually is kind of surprising to me. So she doesn't completely replace Dracomorph and Venus, because if you were to use her versus Dracomorph and Venus in Spider, whenever someone attacks, like actually attacks, there is a chance to resist of the enemy, such as the Spider, which means that she can never have 100% chance to do decreased defense and weaken, so she will always have a failure chance of applying those. At least if you were going to use her
Yeah.
for Spider. But she's pretty much insane everywhere else though, like in Arena and stuff, but honestly kind of surprising. She does not completely replace Dracomorph and Venus, at least for Spider nuking. Do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to say to that?
Not much. We basically covered everything. The only thing that she does different than them is that she also buffs up your own team,
Yeah,
which Venus and Dracomorph don't.
yeah.
Venus is mostly
She's
used in, yeah,
Yeah, she's superior in every system except for Spider. Everywhere else she's superior,
yeah,
I would say. Okay, so I can cover
yeah,
skill 3 and 4 probably. So it says attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 75% chance, so essentially 100% chance of placing a 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has a 75% chance of placing a block buffs and a block cooldown skills debuff for 2 turns. I would imagine this is also at 100% chance, and this is a 3-turn cooldown thing, which is kind of crazy. So if you make her insanely fast, she can just block cooldown skills and block buffs for enemy arbiters or sifis or whatever, so they can't really do much. And this could also do a lot of damage, as you're saying, with your multipliers. So I think
yeah,
this skill, honestly, it's probably because I'm not sure if you want to make her the quickest. Maybe you want to, but I feel like she doesn't increase people's attack and stuff. So I think still people will have their either sifis or arbiters quicker. But I think Lydia in a quick platinum team probably wouldn't be the quickest champion, because you obviously, if you have a Siphi, you want the immunity to debuffs. But I'm sure Lydia could be placed over. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure if I had her where I would place her in arena. She would probably replace the enemy, like the debuffer, such as a Tomb Lord, Stag Knight. I'm not even like I'm kind of curious to see whether people will take out Madame Series for her because Madame Series removes all the enemy debuffs. However, Lydia does not. But she again can do a lot of damage, so that's kind of a thing. Anyway, do you want to add anything to nullification? Anything? Do you think it's? I think it's the weakest of the skills. Do you what
Yeah,
do?
it's not. I don't think it's the weakest because this does give her some clan boss utility. Poison sensitivity and
Yes,
decreased defense and weaken is
I sup
very useful
yeah.
for clan
I
boss.
suppose for clan boss, this is actually a great skill. I've completely didn't think about that. She can.
Yeah, but there's like then you have to time a specific rotation of debuffs because you don't want to waste two slots on block buffs and block cooldown skills, which are
Yeah,
useless on him.
yeah. Of course, of course. And even if you're doing an unkillable team, then strengthen doesn't really matter either. And her increasing speed is also kind of interesting to calculate if you were going to do an auto unkillable team or something like that, if you're going to time it like that. And the fear also wouldn't really be useful against the boss. So I suppose the really only thing is decreased defense, weaken, and poison sensitivity. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's skill number 3. Let's cover skill number 4. So here we have a Death Hold passive. This is the most OP one, I think. Denies enemy revive attempts. This works even if this champion is dead. If this champion is alive when an enemy revive is denied, revives all dead allies with 50% health, 50% turn meter, grants an extra turn instead if there are no dead allies, and if this champion is dead when an enemy revive is denied, revives this champion with 50% health and 50% turn meter. This skill will ignore block revive and it's on a 7 turn cooldown. What a skill. Like, that skill is insane. That makes reviver teams, like the speed nuke teams with Trunda, Madame Series, Arbiter, and Siphi, like, that will completely destroy those kinds of teams while having her in the formation. And this is why I think, and all of Platinum, when they have her, will be using her. Because this will make the trend of having tanky teams, resistance teams, way bigger. So I think when now that she's released, we'll see way more tanky teams because they have to survive instead of just rely on being revived, because they can't rely on being revived when Lydia is in enemy formation, which I think she will be in about all the enemy formations, especially in high platinum. That this, in my opinion, is the most OP skill. I'll also just add she increases ally resistance in arena battles by 100. Which means if you're having a super duper tanky resistance team, she could honestly be used as a lead as well. What do you think about that hold passive?
Yeah, sure. The positive side of this passive is that um, she brings champions like Rotos, Ethos, and all those nukers back into the meta, which they were not. Mainly because the block revive was not there in their kit. So basically, she brings them back in the meta. But the negative side is she does the denies enemy revive attempts once, and then it goes on cooldown.
Yes, this is true. It only goes, and it's a 7 turn cooldown, which means the battle may be over whenever she gets to do it again. But I do think that it ignores block revive, which is very interesting. But then the question is if uh, if
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 it's on
you
a
if you have
cooldown,
a
it's not
Lydia,
really going to do anything.
yeah, if you have a Lydia and the enemy has a Lydia, like, if then you try to revive, then the enemy Lydia will. So it's going to be interesting. I think they'll kind of counter each other. It should be interesting to see battles with these champions, though. But
It should
overall,
be forbidden.
yeah, overall, do you think that she is the strongest support? Do you think that she's better than a Siphi?
She is definitely on par with the Sifi, mostly because it's passive. If she did the denies enemy revive attempts all the time, then yes, she would definitely be one of the best champion in the game, and a
Yeah.
very good faction war rewards. But the fact that she does not do it makes her reviews fall down a lot less. And that kind of changes how you play her. But overall,
Yeah.
yeah, she's on par with Sifi. I wouldn't say she's better or
Or
lesser.
worse. Yeah. I definitely do think if I could choose between getting a Sify and a Lydia, it probably would be Lydia. But as for speed teams, like let's ignore resistance and defense teams. For speed teams, pure speed teams, I do think that Sify is better in the sense that if you're the quickest and you have a Trunda and everything is great, you can nuke the enemy before they're able to use their Lydia. But the thing about Lydia is, I think she is definitely the superior to Sify in defensive teams, if not equal. But I do think in raw speed teams, if you have a quicker setup, you should be able to nuke enemies pretty easily if they're of same build. But if you face a speedy Sify team with an Arbiter, Madame Series, and Trunda versus like a Lydia, Sify, I don't know, Valkyrie and Krisk or whatever, like that should be. I would be interested in seeing that result, but I think that maybe the Lydia would win. I don't know, but I think she is way better used for tanky teams than speedy teams, in my opinion at least. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah. The thing with Sifi teams are she can be like actually put into any teams and any
Yeah.
speed team, and she'll be great in that.
Yeah.
Whereas with Lydia, you'll have to build a certain team around her for her to work as intended.
Yes.
That's the main problem I see.
Yeah, because Sify is like the immunity to debuffs with the speed is just crazy. So Sify is kind of nuts with a cool aura as well, like the resistance aura, 90 resistance or so. Anyway, I don't think we'll go this heavily into detail on the rest of the champions. We will obviously read off their skills, but Lydia was kind of special, so I figured we should spend more time on her. And so yeah. Let's go over to.
Where are you at?
Yeah, so let's try and look at Little Miss Annie, which is an undead hordes. So that's it over here, and she's a void legendary.
I don't want to look at that thing.
She looks kind of scary, to be honest. I kind of like it though. It looks fine. Well, what a long fingers. She looks like a horror character, not a horror character, but a horror character. So there's a lot of skills there. I haven't read any of them. So yeah, we can go over each one. I'll just read each one and then we can discuss them quickly afterwards.
Yeah.
So the first skill attacks one enemy 3 times, has essentially a 75% chance of doing heal reduction debuff for 3 turns. And yeah, okay, cool. Then for 2 turns, my bad. Then her attack number 2 attacks one enemy 2 times, places increased attack, a max increased attack on this champion for 2 turns before attacking. If the target is under shield buff, will ignore 25% of the target's defense if the target is under a shield buff. Places perfect veil on this champion for 2 turns. If this attack kills an enemy, fills this champion's turn meter by 30%. If this attack does not kill the target. And yeah, then we'll just go and look at playdate. Yeah, we'll go properly over the skills after they've been read off. Playdate number 3. Attacks one enemy, will ignore 25% of the target's defense if the target has higher defense than this champion. Decreases the target's max health by 24% of the damage inflicted if the target has higher max health than this champion. Will repeat attack a second time if the target has both higher defense and high health. Okay, so she's definitely an attacker, I can see here. Toys don't die. When revived, attacks the enemy that killed this champion with the default skill, also fills this champion's turn meter by 25% and places a shield buff on this champion equal to 50% of their max health. That's a big shield. And then her passive, when revived... Oh wait, I just read that, sorry. Then Magical Heart. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's armor by 5% and a 100% chance of decreasing the target's max health by 5% of the damage inflicted when attacking enemies under heal reduction debuffs. Also heals this champion by 5% of the damage inflicted when attacking enemies under heal reduction debuffs. Will not heal from damage inflicted by masteries. Increases ally attack in all battles by 33%. That was a lot of skills. So what do you think about skill number 1? Do you think it's fine to have a no cooldown and stuff?
Sure. I can see lots of Fire Knight utility in that one.
Yeah, I think so as well. The heal reduction works very nicely. I like that. Yeah, sure. And I wonder, she hits 3 times. Is it a chance to apply the debuff for every hit, or is it for overall hits? What do you think? Because if it's for every hit, so it's a 75% chance to a 75% chance to a 75% chance. Do you think?
Yeah, she's basically gonna place it like anyways.
Yeah, that's 150 plus that's 225% chance. If you count it like that. Okay, how about number 2? I think this is kind of interesting. She's definitely a heavy single target damage dealer, I would imagine.
I'm getting like the Brachus vibes from this champion, but yeah, definitely the buffs that you get, increase attack and perfect veil, are nice, but I don't like this if this part of
there's a lot of if this if that. I think that she's probably meant to fight tanky teams with Krisks and stuff like that. I think she's meant to kind of do a Brachus version 2 against tanky teams that she will ignore their defense a little bit and stuff. Because if you fight an 8k defense Valkyrie with a freaking 100k shield, you obviously would love to have like a Little Miss Annie to ignore some of that defense and do a lot of damage that way. It would be interesting to see a champion though which ignores defense completely, which means that they take out the health instead of the enemy defense always, even if the enemy has like defense from Valkyrie. That would be interesting to see in a champion that just ignores defense completely. That would be interesting. Anyway, that doesn't exist now, I don't think. What do you think about Playdate? Looking at the Playdate skill, what do you think about this one?
Okay, Playdate. Definitely, I'm expecting this skill to nuke someone straight up. So she's going to ignore defense if the target has higher defense, which they probably do because her base defense is very low, and you are not going to be building her for defense. And her base HP is also kind of on the lower side. So you basically want her with no health and no defense, but
a ton of attack.
So much attack that, she's going to be nuking someone.
I think she is also going. I think this is an excellent skill against tanky teams. I think this is going to be very interesting. That's going to be great. And then what do you think about Toys Don't Die? Do you think that seems fine?
Yeah, but you have to pair her with a revived champion. She'd actually pair very well with Lydia, if I'm like going over the kits now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Little Miss Annie and Lydia, I'd like that. It seems like someone has gotten her because she has one review, and you can only review if you've gotten her. So some person out there has gotten her.
Wow, all 5.
Yeah. Okay, what about Magical Heart? Do you think that seems fine?
Yeah, Magical Heart. It is fine actually. Would not need it. It was not really needed on her, but it's nice to get an extra passive.
Yeah, it seems okay. It's nothing interesting though, but it's fine. It's a little bonus, I suppose.
I've observed one thing, that all these new champions that they're introducing, they kind of work well together. Like Vergamkar, if you remember, he places heal reduction and block buffs. Yeah, correct. And she works better if the target has heal reduction.
Yeah, she will also apply that all the time. So I think this is kind of cool in the sense that I'm not sure if it's based on the enemy health, but if she hits 100k, would she then just heal her? It wouldn't heal her a lot on 100k, it would heal her 5% of that, so 5k. But again, if she has 20k health, she could heal a lot of her health back with that. But I don't think this skill really does too much, but it's kind of cool anyway. It's kind of cool. And decreasing enemy marks health by 5%. Usually that's only good against Spider, but you have tank, it seems, with 150k health Mountain Kings, which that could actually work a little bit on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she's cool. She's cool. So for now, if we were to rate Lydia from 0 to 10, I would probably rate her at a steady 10. To be honest, what would you rate her from 0 to 10? I think that we can rate champions too.
Yeah, Lydia would be 9.5.
9.5.
I'm going to be a little bit.
Okay, I like that.
9.5.
I like that. Little Miss Annie, I would rate her as an 8. What would you rate her? I think 8 is she does do insane damage, I imagine. So what would you say? She doesn't do block revive, which definitely takes them away. If she block revived, it would be a 10 for me.
Oh yeah, that would be a 10 then. I look at their kit overall, and then I see where they are useful in the game. So she's definitely not gonna be used in Clan Boss.
True.
Place I see her being used is Fire Knight, and so that would still be like a 8.5, 9.
I like that. 8.5, 9. Okay, so now let's look at Norma, which is a Knight's Revenant magic. Actually, not void. So let's take a look here. Legendary, obviously. So Norma, the returns.
I'm loving these new animations.
Yeah. Okay. So she looks. 7 people have gotten her apparently, and let's see here. So let's read her skills and go quickly over. She's not even a void, so we'll go quickly over her. Attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of increasing the duration of 3 random debuffs on the target by 1 turn, which is kind of cool. I think that she could really be used with the Valkyrie. I suppose we can go over the skills like this. If she had counterattack, she could easily, if you had a Madam series and Valkyrie and a Norma, and like obviously an Orbiter or something. What you could do though is like if Madam Series applies True Fear to enemies, or they decrease defense and decrease attack, then they will hit as an example Norma, then she will counterattack and just increase the duration of those debuffs. And increasing the True Fear duration would be kind of insane. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think about skill number 1?
I wasn't actually even thinking about using her in the arena, but yeah, actually your plan does not sound that bad.
Yeah, my mind is all on arena. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, with her counterattacking all the time, I think it would be fun. Where do you see her being used though? Maybe Clan Boss, because
Clan Boss,
extending,
definitely.
yeah, to increase the poison debuffs and stuff. Yeah, but it's a 60% chance, so it's a good likelihood. It's a fine likelihood. I like that.
How much chance does Vizier have actually? Let me just see.
Yeah, sure. She also has
some.
Just talk about Vizier.
Yeah, he has a lower chance of doing it, but he extends all debuffs.
Yeah, which is.
So yeah, I can see her being. Yeah.
Yeah. But increase then 3 random debuffs. But yeah, if the clan boss has 10 poison debuffs, she wouldn't be as useful as Vizier. But she's a nice non-void. Now Vizier is actually not void either. Isn't he green or something? So.
Yeah, he's force.
Yeah. Okay, so no, he's force. Oh, he's red. Oh, my bad. Okay. Anyway, attack 1 is fine. What about attack 2? Attacks 1 enemy, has a 100% chance with skills, To decrease enemy attack for 3 turns. Also heals all allies by 50% of the champion's max health. The heal increases by each poison debuff on the target. I genuinely, myself, this is a 3-turn cooldown. I think this, at least, she's not for arena with this skill, at least, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, this is definitely a clan boss skill.
Yeah,
so she's
clan
going
boss.
to have that decrease attack 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good for the clan boss. And also, the heal increases for each poison, which means you can heal the allies a lot. Quite a bit. And I think it could also she could also be used in faction wars in some combination too, I think. Ninth Revenant, I'm sure she should have a use there, probably. With healing people, because yeah, you need strong heals there, usually. With lifesteal and stuff, so she would just add on that. And
yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's look at skill number 3. Attacks one enemy, has a 100% chance of placing 3 good poison debuffs and a 25% poison sensitivity. This is on a 4-turn cooldown. This screams clan boss to me.
Yeah.
She is like a very insane clan boss champion. Like, that's insane. Poison, like, that's Frozen Banshee just evolved. Frozen Banshee evolved.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that, or it's very straightforward? It's just an insane. It's just insane with the clan boss.
Yeah, she's pretty straightforward. Like, definitely clan boss usable.
How
like
about
mid to top tier legendary?
How about the dragon? Do you think she could be useful against the dragon 20? People are using poison builds there as well and health burn. Do you think that she could be able to have be in a nuke team there? Because people use Zavia usually.
With Zavia.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so as well. I think she could be interesting for dragon. Anyway, yeah, she looks insane, and her base speed is 100, so it's not too bad. It's not too quick though, but it's not too bad. She's not. Yeah, it's fine. Let's look at an epic champion, which is a Bannerlord's champion, which is a spirit, and he goes by the name of Masked Fearmonger. We'll go very quick over his skills because it's an epic. It's not like a Madam series, hopefully. So let's read here.
Yeah.
Attacks one enemy 2 times. Has a each hit decreases target's turn meter if the target is under fear or true fear. Reduces the cooldown of skills. The skills champion's Taste of Despair, which is the passive, by 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. And the passive skill fills this champion's turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy health drops below 20%. Okay, so that's kind of, yeah. We have to read the other skills to judge if this is good. So attack number 2 attacks one enemy. This is on a 3-turn cooldown. Has a 100% chance of placing fear, and essentially as well a 100% chance of doing decreased speed. Has a 75% chance of placing true fear on 2 enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. 1 true fear debuff will be placed on the enemy with the lowest turn meter, while the other will be placed to the enemy with the highest turn meter. So he essentially decreases speed, true fear, and fear with 100% chance. If you have a ton of accuracy, and obviously I suppose attack if he has to kill. But yeah, okay. So that pretty much means that he can decrease speed with his attack 1. If his attack 2 is going, he will decrease the turn meter of the enemies, which I suppose can be useful. And if it's 7 like he could essentially reduce the turn meter by 15% with his attack 1 if people are under the debuffs, which he can apply himself. And then his attack 3 attacks one enemy, will ignore 35% of the target's defense if the enemy is under said debuffs. Places increased speed for 2 turns, and a revive on that for 2 turns, and a block debuff for 1 turn on this champion if this attack kills an enemy. What do you think about this guy? He's an attacker, obviously. One person has gotten him, apparently.
Yeah. So
You
when I look
can,
at his kit, it seems interesting, but the more I look at it and compare it with the other epics, I can see that there are so many more champions that can do better than this
yeah,
mostly. So first thing, his A3, it will place us increased speed buff first on him instead of the block debuffs. So if you're going up against a Torment, that's going to
that's going to just,
wreck you
yeah,
completely.
yeah. He's a 4 out of 10 for me. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I'd give him 4 as well. The
Yeah,
A1 also decreased turn meter if the target has fear. So Allure does a way better, Armiger does a way better job than this.
yes, yes. Anyway, what we didn't rank Norma. What do you rank her? She is for
Solid 7.
7. Yeah, I would honestly give her a strong 8 again because of the clan boss usability. She's kind of cool against clan boss, so she's going to get an 8. But yeah, she's cool. Okay, so now let's talk about the mercy system. So let me head over to news. I haven't actually. Before we do that, I will open up one void shard. I will tell you what I'm getting. Hopefully, it will be a Madam
Sure.
series. That would be fun. I need a Madam series. It is not a Madam series.
Yeah.
It is a Vanguard. Okay, rip. Uh,
Okay. No.
not great.
That
Not
was bad.
great. Yeah, that was bad. So let's head over to news. Let's go over to the new update. New avatar available. Game FAQ mercy system. So I can read it off, and then we can discuss it. So the mercy system
Yeah.
increases your chances of getting high rarity champions from shards if you have a long streak of summons without getting an epic or a legendary champion. The system activates
Can I also
automatically. Sure.
quickly pop my ancient shard? I just have one lying around. Okay.
Sure.
Hopefully we get miscreated monster.
Good luck.
So
You need to have higher
and
hopes.
no,
You need to get a
we
legendary.
get a steel skull.
Okay, rip. Wait, Steel Skull, isn't he like an epic though?
Yeah, I got
Steel-
an epic, but it is a steel skull. I didn't have him, so
He's good for clan boss,
I'm not
so
complaining.
not bad. Yeah, he's good. He's cool. He's cool. Anyway, yeah, so let's read here. The mercy system increases your chances of getting a higher tier champion if you have gone a while without getting an epic or legendary champion. The system activates automatically after you summon a certain amount of shards without getting a champion of a specific rarity. Once activated, the mercy system increases your odds of summoning champions of a specific rarity with every consecutive shard you summon of that type. For example, after summoning 20 void shards without getting an epic champion, your chance of getting an epic champion from void shards will increase by 2% with every shards until you get an epic champion, at which point the odds will reset back to default chances of that rarity. And I would imagine the same thing goes for legendaries. So if you get an epic champion, I don't think it will reset even the legendary. So I think the same goes for legendaries. If you pop 20 void shards with a legendary, it will increase by X amount of percent. If it's 2%, that's pretty good. There's a little bit more to it than that, but we can't explain it all here. Head over to info for a full breakdown. It's fine. We kind of got the basics of it. What do you think about this one? I think this is a good addition. I think this is a very good addition. Excellent. So, what do you think?
Okay.
What do you think about the mercy system? Do you think it's good? I think it's good. I like it.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
actually not sure if they had this in the game or like did they just implement it?
They
Very
just
quickly.
implemented it because it all was RNG before. If you opened up 100 shards, you would have a 0.5% chance to get legendary. After the 99 shard, it was always the same. So this kind of makes it better in that sense. I think it's a nice addition, and it should be interesting to see. Then let's see here. What else? Was there anything else? Fragment event. Yeah, let's look at Elagius.
Fragment event.
Yeah, so let's
Oh, we
take
didn't
a...
even go over Elegius.
Yeah, we didn't because it wasn't on the thing. It's fine. It's fine. So his tongue makes me kind of scared. So let's read. We'll go over 1-on-1 skill, I suppose. So, attacks one enemy has a 35% chance of placing block cooldown skills if booked. For 1 turn, the chance increases by 0.75% for every 1% of health this champion loses. So if this champion loses, if this champion is at 25% health, he will have a 100% chance to apply it. Actually, he only 65% health he can have with the skill upgraded, and he will apply it. That is attack 1, which ain't bad, especially if you have a counter-attack build. I think I see more and more about these champions, new champions. I think many of them would work very well with the counter-attack build. What do you think about the attack number 1?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I think like definitely works. The first thing that I can see from this is swift parry, unkillable.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Swift parry and killable. That's a fun combination with that. Yeah, nice, nice. Okay, so let's look at attack 2. Attacks 1 enemy, put the target skills on cooldown. So this means essentially a 100% chance of that happening if he does have the accuracy to do it. If the enemy team has any duplicates of the target champion, their skills will also be put on cooldown, which means two Rotos teams or teams with 2 Trundas or whatever. That's not common though, to be honest. But it's still a nice little additional thing. But it's pretty much on a 3-turn cooldown will put whoever's skills on cooldown, which is kind of fun. I can dig that. I can dig that. Especially if you use him with a speedy team to where he has like 270 speed and you have an arbiter with 340 speed and he will go after her. He can guaranteed lock the enemy arbiter's skills on cooldown or Siffy or whatever. What do you think about this attack number 2? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it works?
It works. I don't see it being used much in arena. Definitely, if people are running double rotos, double arbiters. Sometimes I see those for some reason.
Yeah, double arbiters
I
are
can
so
see
useless.
them used there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faction wars mostly because there are like 3 to 4 Valkyries sometimes.
Yeah, this would work well in faction wars, I think. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Okay, so let's look at the skill number 3. Attacks all enemies has a 100% chance when booked on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. Has a 100% chance of removing 2 random buffs. Has again a 100% chance of decreasing their turn meter by 20%. Decreases turn meters by another 2.2% for every 1% this champion loses. So if this guy loses 10% health, he will have he will decrease their turn meter by another 2%. So it's kind of again whatever then up to. Yeah, it's a skill. What do you think about it? I think it's cool, but he's not a Madam Series, I say at least. A Madam Series is a better champion than this guy.
Yeah, again, unkillable in swift parry. So basically can become a Razin, like Razin's A3 depletes full turn meter. So if he's on 1 HP, he can essentially fully deplete the turn meters.
Yes, I think, yeah, correct. Yeah, he's fine. It's attack 3, obviously Ascension is very easy, so people will do that. Prevents this champion's death and keeps them alive on a 1 hit when hit by fatal hit, which is what you're saying is pretty good. If this skill prevents this champion's death, heals them by... heals the champion by 10% of max health, fills their turn meter by 20%, and places a shield buff equal to 30% of max health. Will not prevent this champion's death if they're under a heal reduction debuff. So yeah, this pretty much means like the Swift Parry set, as you're saying, he has a natural... he can't die quickly. What do you think about this one? I think this one is actually good. I think it's actually fine, this one.
Yeah, actually, it makes you think that no, I mean that you won't be putting Swift Parry on him, so he already has an inbuilt Swift Parry with on him.
So you can build.
And his damage is based off HP, so.
Yeah, it should be interesting. His damage is built based on health, so it should be interesting to see. I feel like this guy will have a lot of health. I think people will build him with some good health and stuff like that, maybe some speed. It's going to be interesting to see how people build him. Nobody has gotten him apparently yet. There's no reviews unless you actually have to go into the index page.
I see 3 reviews.
Oh yeah, you're in the index. I just went through different. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, what if I go into
So
index?
you're going for him?
I probably, yeah, there's 3 reviews here. I probably, like, I'm not sure. It depends. It depends how difficult it is. I haven't really gotten much for Fragment champions, but he doesn't. I won't really. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will. I will figure it out. He's good. He's good. Let's see. I'll see if he's worth investing a lot into. What would you rank him between 0 and 10?
Solid 6, 6.5.
Yeah, I think he is like, yeah, he's like a 6. I think he is a 6. He's cool, but he's not like, there are champions which are better, to say the least. But his base speed is 106, which ain't bad. It's almost arbiter level, which is 110. And yeah, space resist is fine. His base health is quite high, I think. Like, compared to Mountain King, let's see here. Dwarves. Mountain King has the highest base health in the game. Yeah, so 30. Yeah, Mountain King has 31k base. But I think he is on par with a Roshard, if I'm not mistaken. Roshard is currently sitting at, yeah, so he will have quite a lot of health, natural health. So yeah, people can build him very healthy, I think. I think he should be pretty a healthy boyo. But yeah, I think that, was there anything else to this update and the champions and the mercy system and the fragment summon? I think that was maybe all of it, and the double Halloween summon draft. It's kind of whatever. There was a 10x chance to get Madame Series. Sadly, didn't get her. But yeah, I can outro the video now. Thanks guys so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, and do you want to say goodbye, Garch? Check him out, by the way.
Goodbye, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and hope our reviews helped you feel better about if you pull one of these champs, and if you're going for one of these.
Excellent. Bye bye.